everyone, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in to Relevant Jukebox, and today we're going to talk about the latest album from Backxwash. I lie here buried with my rings and my dresses. So this is the latest album from the producer and rapper Backxwash, who broke out in a pretty big way last year with the release of her album God Has Nothing to Do With This, Leave Him Out of It. A very tortured and harrowing hip-hop record that I actually enjoyed quite a bit. The production was very dark and grim and had some very specific samples woven in that really enhanced that like witchy horror-like vibe, and I'm sure would get under the skin of anybody that wasn't looking to come across this type of music. And she's not wasting any time following that record up here, and this time around, everything has been taken a lot further down the rabbit hole. So, buckle up if you're looking to give this a spin. Once again, the lyrical content on here is just as horrifying as the production sounds, with this time it seems like she's focusing a little bit more on drug addiction with many more references. And the production on here is even more noisy and comes off much more deranged even than the previous album. There's a lot of samples on here of people screaming and moaning that are layered upon themselves, like on the second track, Wail of the Banshee, which sort of feels like you're standing on the edge of the caverns of Isengard and all those orcs are churning out all the Urukai. Also, the feature list on this project is pretty fantastic. Like Ada Rook of Black Dresses, who shows up on the title track and screams in such a blood-curdling way, it's like stomach-churning and just fits in so well with that wall of deep-fried guitars. You also have Sadie of Speedy Ortiz on here, not screaming, actually singing really well on Song of Sinners, which makes up for the catchiest moment on the LP. And there's also even guest production on here from Clipping on the track Blood in the Water. Now, I will say I did enjoy the second half of this album a lot more than the first half, as I found it to have a little bit more variety. Most of the tracks that show up in the first leg of the album just feel a little too similar to one another, like Terror Packets and also In the Holy Name, which both feature a pretty prominent haunting piano line that's carrying out the beat. And also Wail of the Banshee and the title track sort of feel like recycled versions of themselves. And a lot of the beats on this project operate with a more slow churning tempo to them, almost kind of reminds me of the track Beware from Death Grips. And these beats are just sort of washing themselves over you with these big hits of bass and drum like waves of an ocean. Maybe an ocean that's filled with toxic sludge or something. And I don't know, I guess I was just left wanting maybe a beat switch up or two just to keep things refreshing, especially when the vibe overall is this aggressive at all times. And there isn't anything on here in the way of like a mellow type cut like what landed on the last album with the track Redemption. And I will say I would welcome more singing and more hooks on some of her tracks too, as I think she has just such a great ear for picking features, as most of my favorite Backxwash songs up until this point do feature a pretty prominent hook on the chorus, like Spells from the last album, or again with Song of Sinners on this one. But still, I thought this was another really solid offering of tracks over here from Backxwash that sees her even branching off into more industrial elements this time as well as metal. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff and you like the last one, or you're a huge fan of Clipping, I definitely think you should give this a listen. And with that being said, I'm feeling a 7.5 over here. So for all you collectors out there, there was a Kickstarter campaign through her Bandcamp that looks like it's been 300% funded at this point to release this on a vinyl pressing. So that should be coming out down the line, which is great news. And if you have listened to this new Backxwash album already, let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and share, and if you want more content from me, hit that subscribe button. Peace.